Okay, so how to handle the type on your logos. This is something that I apologize, I did not probably explain well enough over the course of the material, and you might be a little confused about it. I would like you to have your type as a vector shape layer when you turn in your logo and not as an editable type layer. A couple of reasons. When I get your logo, one of the things I'm going to do with it is move it onto a big canvas and make it really big. And it needs to look really good, really big, because if it has a pixel graphic on it or type that doesn't have the font, it's not going to look the way that it did when it was small, and that will count against you. The solve for that is to do a tracing of it here in Photoshop. If you have Illustrator and you would like to trace it there with the technique that I showed you on lesson 10? Yeah, lesson 10. You can do that. I just realized a lot of people don't have access to Illustrator. So I've got an example here. I've got my type set up. I would have already adjusted everything like kerning and got it looking exactly the way I wanted. Then I took my pen tool and set it to path and made my path around the letters. The other reason it's a good idea to do this is this gives you an opportunity to completely customize your typeface if you want to. So for example, I decided that this bit coming off of the top of the H needed to be skinnier, so I just made the area that I was choosing with my pen smaller. Also, another reason that's really great for working with the pen tool set in path mode is, unlike when it's shape layers, you don't have to come up here and make a switch setting to do something like put an O center in or the I of an E like we had to at the beginning of lesson 10 for that green shape layer. That's one of the things that Photoshop is still a little funky on, and hopefully they'll get it figured out before terribly much longer. Alright, so do trace your entire type with the pen on path tool. Make sure that in your paths panel you eventually turn that into a permanent work path, because right now if I saved and closed this document it wouldn't be there when I opened it back up. But if I double click on it and I can even just give it a name, then all of my pen tool lines will stay there. It won't actually add anything yet in my layers. Once I have the entire piece of type finished, here's what you can do. Zoom back so we can see it. If everything was there, I would grab my pen tool and hold Command so I have my white arrow down. I would click and drag so that they're all selected. So all of my everything that I want to be in this new shape layer that's going to appear, everything is selected. And then up in pen, as long as it's set to path, you have an option that you can create a shape. And if you click shape, it should appear as a shape over here in your layers panel. If you change your pen tool option now to shape, that's where you can change the fill so that you can see what it would look like with a fill. If you have a fill already set, it might have done that as soon as the moment you put it in as a shape object. So that's how I would recommend doing the type for your logo. It gives you great control over the customability of it, and it will always stay as a vector. It won't do funky things when it gets enlarged.